An extraordinary council meeting of the City of Johannesburg scheduled for this morning was interdicted from taking place. The High Court in Johannesburg declared the meeting invalid and null and void. Copies of the ruling were sent to lawyers last night. The court also declared that Cope Councillor Colleen Makhubele is not the acting speaker. Makhubele took over as acting speaker after DA Councillor Vasco da Gama was ousted in a vote of no confidence last month. She then issued a notice for this morning's meeting that was meant to elect a speaker. The meeting was also reportedly called to oust Joburg Mayor Dr. Mpho Phalatse with a no confidence vote. Makhubele is interdicted from exercising any statutory function of the acting council speaker. Let's discuss this issue further now and speak to the City of Johannesburg's Chair of Chairs and Cope Councillor Colleen Makhubele. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Let's first begin with your reaction to the ruling.
Bongiwe, thank you so much for having me, and my greetings to all the viewers. We welcome the ruling. First and foremost is that the issue is created by the grey area in the law regarding an acting speaker when the speaker is not available in terms of the speaker position being vacant. There were differing legal opinions that we had to go and ask the court to assist us in order to understand, am I the acting speaker or not? So for me, I'm glad that the ruling came out. I'm not the acting speaker. There's nothing untoward towards that. I was advised that in case you are, you have to act and do your jobs. Otherwise, somebody can in future even bring an action against you, because the rules of council are clear. If the acting position, if the speaker position is vacant within 14 days, there must be a council that sits to elect a speaker. So I had to act within that until otherwise instructed by the court not to do so. So for me, that is really the great outcome. Now there's clarity on both the legislature and the executive arm of council. The legal teams now know exactly how to move going forward. Thank you.
So when we then look at, this particular matter, it's also drawn the ire of some of the councillors, including the current mayor as well, who, say that they are happy with this outcome, but certainly not happy with your conduct. I'm sure you've seen what has been said in the public domain. How do you react to that?
To be honest with you, I really have not seen what they are saying in the public domain.
Okay.
I'm not interested really in what the mayor and anybody says about my conduct. Of course, she is in crisis. She is afraid and panicking because of the motion. I don't expect them to have lovely words towards me. It's part of politics. It's the game that we play, and it's a game of intimidation. It's the game of numbers. So I'm not fazed about it. It is what happens, and we move on.
So you haven't seen it, but I'm keen to hear your thoughts on these two. I'll begin with the first one. This is Freedom Front Plus's Corne Mulder, as quoted in the Daily Maverick, saying, "We've never had any issues in the coalition. It was some individual councillors who decided to do their own thing, and their political parties must deal with them. We accommodated her, and her is you, and the Cope, and made her the chair of chairs, but she betrayed us and voted with the ANC. We are confident that we will have a majority, and we are not concerned about being able to remove her," suggesting that a motion of no confidence is coming, to your direction. We welcome the verdict, but it is a very difficult situation, but we will succeed. Let's pause with the motion of no confidence. I'm going to ask you about that in just a second. But what do you say? Did you betray the people you were with in the agreement?
Not at all. Not at all. An agreement is not any constitution that must bind you. It's not an oath that you sign. It's an agreement that we agree we are going to cooperate in the governance of the city. And in the event, it even makes provision, in the event where we disagree on certain issues of the direction which the city needs to go into, we then let you know and we vote otherwise. It's not the first time that we have voted against what the coalition believes. We've also abstained on some of the votes, but it was not an issue. We're called one-seater parties. They didn't care about our votes. They went on ahead. But now that this 4 or 5 parties now that have decided that enough is enough, we are tired of the white domination. I mean, Freedom Front only has, 3-4 seats in council. It's a big statement for a party that can't even they are coalition desperate. Without the coalition, they have nothing. They have no seats, they have no chairpersons, etc. So it's in their best interest to defend it at all costs, whether there's maladministration or fraud or corruption happening. They will defend it at all costs, including Action SA, because that what fits them. That's where their MMCs are. These coalitions have become about power and positions, not about moral value, not about principle, not about what is right for the citizens of Joburg. So, hence, they will say you betrayed the coalition, because for me to vote against DA, I'm not a DA member. I cannot take an instruction from DA or Freedom Front. I vote according to the constitution of this land, according to the oath that I have signed, and in the benefit of the residents of the City of Joburg. And certainly we've done the right thing. And if we have to do it again, we'll do the same thing again.
So if I hear you correctly, you're saying the coalition is in tatters?
I believe it is. It's in crisis. It's in tatters. That's why they're issuing statements left, right, and center. And DA and their leaders, even Freedom Front, they're instructing other parties, interfering in their politics, instructing those parties to fire their members. They're really desperate, to keep those positions and power. This is white supremacy at play. And let me tell you, Nelson Mandela, founding father, even my president in Tateli Kota, they fought their whole lives for these constitutional rights that we have to vote with our conscience, the ability for me to make a decision as a leader, not being influenced by any white person that wants me to do what they want to do. So I'm not going to apologize for defending that right that I have, my party has given to me, and that the constitution of this land gives to me. We will not allow white domination to come back again, never again in the country. Never.
Let's talk about the statements that you are alluding to. I mean, part of what the statement says, after condemning your action, and this is the statement of the city, it was made by the mayor's office. They say the actions of Councillor Makhubele and those who backed and bankrolled her illegal actions must be condemned in the harshest terms. Are you bought?
I'm not bought. And you know what concerns me is that the DA truly, we believe now they have bought our leaders. There is no leader, political leader, that can fire its councillor for taking a constitutional and democratic right. We didn't violate the constitution. We didn't break the law of our parties. We didn't violate anything other than the instruction from DA and the DA leaders. We are not bought. Remember, they went to the police station. It was a big hoo-ha in the media to open cases. Where are those cases? Those should be public documents now. It means our leaders indeed have been bribed by the DA to do what they're doing, because DA is in a crisis. They have to hold on to this at all costs. Even overriding all moral obligations, they will ride over black cops in order to maintain the mayorship, even the Speaker of Council, and all the powerful positions. Even Action SA has come out to say the coalition is not balanced, there's no power sharing, decision making, the arrogance of the DA. You ask yourself then, why didn't you vote with us? But it's because it's the economic interdependence that is overriding all principle and all reason and all moral obligation that we have as councillors towards the residents of this city.
We're out of time. I'm going to give you about 10 seconds. There's a motion of no confidence pending against you. Will you survive?
I don't need to survive. I'm not phased. If they vote me out, I'll be a councillor and I'll still vote the way I'm voting. Of course, this motion is a knee-jerk reaction. If they didn't believe in me, they should have brought it long before. Why now that we have a motion for the mayor? So it's okay. If I'm voted out, I will still serve and vote as I'm voting as a normal councillor, and I welcome it very much. Thank you.
Let me thank you for your time this afternoon. Do appreciate it, and I hope we speak again just to get a sense even from the more allegations that you're making. But we will also reach out to some of the parties that you've also said are flouting processes here to hold on to the coalition at all costs. But let's leave it there with you for now. That's the City of Johannesburg's Chair of Chairs and Cope Councillor Colleen Makhubele.